BitPesa is the first Pan-African digital payment company that makes a market in African currencies. So most of the payment companies we've seen across the continent use US dollars as their middle currency and their settlement currency, and think about using African currencies as a secondary thought, which adds an additional expense and a lot of delay and a lot of struggle for a lot of companies who don't have access to those US dollars and find it very expensive to buy them. So what BitPesa does is makes it very easy for African businesses, particularly SMEs, to pay and get paid in African currencies. We started in 2013 in October. I had been living and working in Nairobi, Kenya for 6 years, and I had really been thinking a lot about what financial service offering was in this market. I had worked both in the microfinance industry with a lot of the microfinance banks in East Africa and West Africa, helping them get financing, helping them structure their operations. And what I kept being so surprised about was so many of these microfinance banks were unable to find loans and funding in local currencies, and it made them over-dependent on foreign lenders. So we thought, what if we could kind of make it easier for people to make payments directly from those currencies? The biggest challenge we have is that all of the regulatory and legal environments are really quite different in each market that we go to. And some are very welcoming, like Nigeria has been incredible. And we've been very welcomed in other markets as well. But in some markets like Kenya, it's been very difficult for us. It's easy for a company to start in Kenya, but when they want to grow and they need to partner with banks or bigger companies, there's not a lot of regulatory clarity for them. We really see the successes of BitPesa coming from our movement out of Kenya and across the continent. If we had just stayed in Kenya, I think we would have really struggled with the lack of clarity from the Kenyan regulator. But we moved into Tanzania and Uganda, and we saw actually it's very different in each market, and we had different kinds of customers and different kind of experiences, and it made us stronger as a company. So I'm excited about the digital revolution, not just the mobile revolution, because the digital revolution opens the doors to so many more entrepreneurs, and it really lowers the barrier to entry. If you have to build telco towers and fight into the telecom industry to create a company, you're only going to have one or two entrants per country. But the digital revolution is just an internet connection. And once you have that internet connection, you can really build your business around there. And we've seen some really awesome young companies come up across the continent that are innovating in ways those bigger telecoms can't. I mean, we just see ourselves growing and growing. We've had a huge mega year. Last year, we grew 25% month on month. This year already, we've surpassed all of our projections. We've received some new funding. We've got a lot of confidence. We've had some incredible news from the regulator in Nigeria and in Uganda, other regulators reaching out to us. We've been invited to sit on the World Economic Forum and participate in IMF research and the UK, and it just validates that the work we've been doing is being respected around the world.